Hey everybody, this is David Brown and I'm out here on the Braddock Bay Hawkwatch platform. Braddock Bay is located near Rochester, New York, right on Lake Ontario. And I was the counter here at Braddock Bay for the spring 2019 season. Today is May 30th, about 8:30 in the morning. Tomorrow is the final day of the count. So we're just wrapping things up. So far we've had over 63,000 migrants. So when it comes to hawk watches, this is a pretty good one in terms of the number of hawks that you get. We had about 30,000 broadwings, 25,000 turkey vultures, and over 1,000 bald eagles. So we had a season record for bald eagles as well as single day records. So even though the weather stayed cool for a long time and we had some periods of off winds, we still had a great season. One thing about Braddock Bay is since we get so many birds, I've been using the clickers a lot. So we have the set of 6 as well as some hand clickers, and that just helps to click all the birds. We are using Dunkadoo, but the way I've been doing it on busy days is just to use the clickers, and then at the end of the hour, enter everything into Dunkadoo, reset the clickers, and continue on to the next hour. What you're actually looking at there, the water is Braddock Bay, and then farther out is Lake Ontario. And the land on the left, the point of land, is called the West Spit, and the point of land on the right is called the East Spit. And it's fairly common for hawks to migrate across the mouth of the bay out there. You can't see it too well. There's actually a new break wall that was built within the past couple of years, and you get a lot of birds hanging out on that as well. But we have a fairly large sky here to be scanning. Depending on the winds and the weather conditions, sometimes the birds are out over the lake, sometimes they're far off to our left. We do have one alternate site called Frisbee Hill Park, which is in this general direction. It's about a 1.5 miles inland from the lake. In general, the way the birds are migrating here is we want southwest winds to push the birds up against the lake. Being a spring count, in general, the hawks are migrating from south to north this time of year. So we want them to fly north into the lake. When they hit the lake, they don't want to cross the water because it's too big. They want to fly over land. So they fly north until they hit the lake shore, and then they fly east until they can get around the lake. And that's what brings them right over top of us. We catch them as they're flying east. We happen to be at a point where the lake cuts down towards the southeast. So when the hawks come overhead here, they're actually heading southeast. And the one advantage of that is that the way the platform sits, the sun is behind us. At a lot of spring hawk watches, you're looking south and you're looking into the sun. We're actually looking towards the north. So we get the good light behind us as the hawks are temporarily heading southeast just as they follow the lake shore. The one thing that's been the big news recently is how high Lake Ontario is. The entire Great Lakes region have had a lot of rain this year, and the lake level is extremely high. So there's a boardwalk down here, and you can probably see that the path right in front of it has been flooded, and throughout the day that seems to go up and down. But it's causing a lot of problems for locals who live right along the lake shore, just with backyards and houses and roads being flooded. Let me think if there's anything else I need to tell you. This count is sponsored by Braddock Bay Raptor Research. We do have a sign-in book for when people come to visit. And down off of the platform, you can see the platform has a handicap accessible ramp. If I just walk down off the platform, I can show you our totals board. If you've seen my videos from Ashland, you know we have a dry erase board there. The board we use here has more of just a plexiglass cover, and then we use these gel pen sort of things. But you can see it's just a regular totals board with the daily, monthly, and season totals and all the species. So yesterday was a lousy day, only had one turkey vulture. We had some good species this season. We did get Swainson's hawk, and we got Mississippi kite, and we also had 2 short-eared owls. Here's just some information that's up for display. And then over here we just have another sign that gives directions to other nearby sites and things like that. So this is a 3-month count. It goes March, April, and May. And it's one of the spring hawk watches that gets the highest total in the country. Actually, our rival site is the Derby Hill Hawk Watch, which is east of us. And they had a record year this season. They had over 100,000 hawks, or total raptors, mainly because they got huge numbers of broad-winged hawks that went around us. They seem to do better on different winds, and it just happened that the winds this year favored them instead of us. But overall it was a great year, and I had a lot of fun up here. And so I'm just going to enjoy the last 2 days. I'm sure that a lot of people will come up to visit. But if you've never been up here, it's a great hawk watch to come to. The peak time really happens in April. At the beginning of April, you start to get a lot of turkey vultures, and the peak time for the broad-winged hawks is the end of April, anytime from mid-April into early May. But even towards the end of May, like now, we're still getting a lot of broad-winged hawks, a lot of turkey vultures, and a lot of bald eagles. So anytime you come out during the season, except the very early part, you're seeing decent numbers when it's good weather. So I hope you can come out and visit sometime.